Hello boys and girls, welcome to Nonnie Reads. Tonight I'm going to be reading Boris and the Worrisome Wakies. Boris doesn't like to go to bed, and I think you're going to hear some excuses that maybe you've used before. Let me put on my reading glasses. Boris and the Worrisome Wakies. Alrighty Boris, the sun's coming up. You know what that means for badgers. Bedtime. But Boris the badger cub did not like going to bed. And that sounds kind of strange because we don't go to bed when the sun comes up. We go to bed when the sun goes down. Do I have to? Boris said, just like every morning. Yes, said Mama. I don't want to, Boris said, just like every morning. Too bad, Papa said. So Boris put on his PJs and grumped into bed. His parents gave him a good morning kiss, whispered, "Have a nice day," and tiptoed away. Our parents usually kiss us goodnight and say, what? Good night, sweet dreams. But Boris's parents said, have a good day. Before long, the worrisome worries began. My ear itches. I need water. Oh, I heard that a lot of times. My covers came off. Mama and Papa whispered, go to sleep, Boris. And later, I'm hungry. Heard that one before. I think my PJs are on backwards. I can't find my ice skates. Mama said, and Papa called, go to sleep, Boris. Have any of you ever tried those excuses? And even later, if I went to the moon, would you miss me? My cuddle bunny is hogging the bed. I'm scared of the light. Usually we don't say we're scared of the light. We say we're scared of the dark. Papa and Mama badgered, go to sleep, Boris. Go to sleep, Boris. Go to sleep, Boris. But Boris had the worrisome wakies that day and every day. By nightfall, when it was time to get up for school, he was a very tired badger. How many of you have a hard time getting up for school? Every evening, Miss Happy Snout greeted her students at the door. Good night, Mabel. Good night, Hubert. Buenas noches, Carlos. Good night, Boris. The other cubs had each enjoyed a good day's sleep. As Boris shuffled sleepily into the classroom, they chanted, everyone join the chorus. Here comes snoring Boris. What does he do? Boris. Get it, get it, get it. But Boris just plopped down at his desk and snored. Boris was a boring cub all through gym, art, lunch, library, and even music. And in Miss Happy Snout's classroom, Boris was usually in a cubby Boris's cub mates tried to make him laugh. Hey Boris, want to hear a bad badger joke? They tried bothering him. Coochie-coo, poke, poke, poke. And Miss Happy Snout unhappily tried reasoning with him. Boris dear, If you slept at home during the day, I'm sure school would be a more enjoyable place for you. But Boris's worrisome wakies continued at home, as did his snoozing at school. After a while, his cub mates stopped noticing sleeping Boris. Night after night, it was like he wasn't even there. Cubs bumped into him, walked over him, used him for a waste basket. Sometimes even Miss Happy Snout forgot him. Good night, Mabel. Good night, Hubert. Buenas noches, Carlos. Good night, Woozit. But she forgot about Boris. Early one morning, when it was time to go home from school, Boris's cub mates were especially loud. Was that a great Badger Bowl game or what? And wow, Miss Happy Snout's exploding science experiment was awesome. Ooh, Mabel's birthday cupcakes were so delicious. The cubby and a cubby sat up and stretched. What did I miss? Boris asked. Lots, replied his cub mates. Like field day, we all got medals and the class picture. The school play, you were a rock, and your chance to be the line leader of the week. Nobody could follow you. Oh, said Boris. Boris is thinking now. Tucked in bed that morning after Mama and Papa had wished him a good day, Boris began the worrisome wakies as usual. My legs hurt. I need a turkey sandwich. And, not quite as usual, I want to do a science experiment. Somebody bring me a cupcake. I really need a medal. May I be the line leader? Whoa! Wait a minute! Science experiment, cupcake, field day medal, line leader, all the wonderful things he had missed, and more. But why? It had to be the Wakies, the worrisome Wakies. Aha! Yelped Boris. Suddenly, he knew what to do. What do you think he's going to do, boys and girls? Boris scratched his itchies, quenched his thirst, fed his hungries. He adjusted his PJs, put away his skates, and tucked in his cuddly bunny. Then he pulled down the window shade so he couldn't see the scary light. See all the things he did? And with that, Boris banished all of the worrisome wakies for good. That means he threw them away. He was ready for a peaceful, snoreful sleep that lasted all day long. That evening, Boris bounced out of bed and got dressed for school. As he skipped out the door, his parents could only scratch their heads in wonder. His surprising silence had kept them awake all day long. Miss Happy Snout was at the door as usual. Good night, Mabel. Good night, Hubert. Buenas noches, Carlos. Good night. Who is this bright-eyed cub? Are you a new student? Miss Happy Snout cried. You might say that. Boris turned to his cub mates and winked. Do you want a hint? Yes, please, everyone begged. So Boris faked a humongous yawn. It's Boris, his cub mates cried. They could hardly believe it. This cub looked more awake than anyone they'd ever met. Boris could hardly believe it either, but he didn't want to miss out on 1 minute. Now, the cub mates sang a new tune. Everyone joined the chorus. Give 3 cheers for Boris. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Get it? Got it? Good. From that night on, Boris became the liveliest cub in school. And every morning, he went home for a good long sleep. And that was Boris and the Worrisome Wakies. I hope that you have a good night's sleep. Good night. Sweet dreams.